What's going on, guys? Welcome to the Level With You show. My name is Wiley Olmstead. I am your host. This is episode 29. I am joined this week by Tyler Hadley.
Hey guys, how's it going? Today I am replacing Mr. Anthony Duarte.
Feel better soon, man. We know you're in bed watching live. No, just kidding. And Kenny Castro.
Hey, what's up? How's it going? Hi.
All right. So, if you didn't know, we're live, or we're not live. Our videos go up every Wednesday. You can real smooth start here.
But if you want to watch us live, let us know, and maybe we'll go live.
And also let us know in the comments a question for next week's show. I made a point of last week at the end of the show saying if you would like to be featured on a new segment, questions and answers, towards the end of the show, all you have to do is drop a comment asking us something video game related, preferably, but not necessarily. If you just want to know something else, we'd probably be able to chime into that as well. You can find it also on podcast services. If you don't have time for the video version, we get it. That's how I consume all of my podcasts. Podcast Addict, Spotify, Google, pretty much anywhere you look. If there's somewhere that you want us to be that you don't hear us, let us know and we will remedy that. Please support us by liking our Facebook page. All you have to do is search Level With You on Facebook, and then you can, be alerted once our new videos go up. It also helps us out. And so, yeah, that's pretty much housekeeping for the week. You can also check out the other videos that have been going up on the channel, including a Let's Play of Man of Medan and Anthony's really fun card opening packs, if that's your thing. And I know that is the thing of many. All right.
If you guys want enough, maybe Anthony will record some Pokemon Let's Plays.
Oh, yeah.
So let us know if you want to see some of that.
So unfortunately, one of the big things we were going to talk about this week that we're not going to be able to get to is full-on impressions of Pokemon Sword and Shield. Our Pokemon Master Brethren, Anthony, is fallen ill and bedridden, apparently.
Probably playing Pokemon right now.
Yeah, probably
cuddled up with that Switch, covered in blankies. So he'll be on the show next week, and you'll be able to hear all about that. So you're stuck with us three, unfortunately, or fortunately, however you feel about Anthony. All right. So
we know Anthony's the star. You only came to see Anthony. We get it.
Yep, we know it.
Yeah, he's definitely the funniest of the bunch.
Hey, easy. If I was on camera more, I'd be hilarious.
Okay, well, we'll just have to take your word for it. This is your moment, Tyler.
This is my time.
Yes, time to just do random outbursts of comedic hilarity. All right. So how's your week been going, guys, before we jump into the games?
Week has been going pretty good. I had a busy weekend.
Yeah.
I went to a Friendsgiving. It was a vegetarian Friendsgiving.
What?
So no turkey.
What do you have instead of turkey?
They had a tofurkey.
A tofurkey.
Yep. First time I ever had a tofurkey.
Kenny is looking disgusted over there.
I'm puzzled as to how you could call it anything's giving with no turkey. Like, I thought that was a staple.
All vegetables, basically.
So do they do some sort of turkey-shaped tofu sculpture?
Kind of. That's pretty much what it was. It was just kind of a blob,
of turkey
that you cut in slices. And to be honest, it really just tasted like bread. And then they had some type of gravy. So it was just like bread with gravy.
Do they have stuffing?
Yeah, they had a stuffing. It was like a cranberry and apple stuffing. That was actually really good.
Okay.
I made green bean casserole like I do for every Thanksgiving event that I go to.
How is that person?
But, I mean, typically I put a little special ingredient. I put some bacon pieces in my green bean casserole.
But no special ingredient this time.
But I couldn't put it in this time.
Oh, wow.
I would have still snuck it in there.
Oh, gosh.
Oh, my God, Tyler, this green bean casserole is so amazing.
What did you do?
Oh,
Yeah.
It's just love.
But
Love and deceit.
But did use chicken broth. Don't tell anyone. No, but these people they're not vegetarian for typical vegetarian reasons. They're just vegetarian for health
For irony?
reasons. Yeah, I guess.
We just save every chicken we can and we have a livestock in the back.
I mean, I am someone that has flirted with the idea of vegetarianism, but I never quite go with it because I do love meat and meat dishes so much. But for me, I can see the moral,
Not me.
Not you.
You tell me we're eating rabbit, I'm all about it.
I had rabbit the other night.
I love rabbit.
Yeah, it was okay. I mean, the dinner was great. It was a 5-course dinner. It was where I had that $1,000 bottle of wine.
Oh my gosh, dude!
Yeah.
What was that?
So it was a bottle of port that had been aging since 1935.
Oh,
Wow.
Bottled in 2017. Only 300 bottles made and only one released in the U.S. And I happened to drink it.
oh my gosh.
So this
dude.
is it's the wine shop owner where my wife works. His new partner is is the wine buyer, I believe, at this other really big wine place in Worcester. So
wow.
very connected. Nothing to do with me being a baller or anything like that.
Wiley is a baller. That's going to be the tagline.
Wiley traded his body for a bottle of wine.
But yeah, that was probably one of the more exciting things I did this week. Besides work, Death Stranding, the usual stuff. Still looking for a roommate.
So if you're interested out there,
Oh yeah, make sure
comment on the video.
leave me a comment and I'll shoot you the deets.
We'll send you the application through Google Docs.
It is extensive. So what about you, Kenny? What's going on in your world?
Well, I was having a great week until I came down this weekend with some explosive
Uh-oh.
Diarrhea.
Oh, geez.
like, I don't know. I couldn't pinpoint what I ate that caused this, but I know Sunday morning I woke up with a pain in my stomach. I went to the bathroom and all I felt was like, and then I was like, wait a second, that was a sudden relief of a lot of pressure. I got up and it looked like this whole toilet was splattered.
Oh my God, dude.
I was like, I'm not okay today.
And toilet talk.
And then I'm pretty sure my fiance states that I woke her up Saturday night with a fart that smells so bad that I woke her up from her sleep.
Oh my God,
And
that's
I was
intense.
and I grunted at her after she told me that I woke up. So I think I wasn't having it.
Yeah,
So
it's interesting that you say that because like my entire weekend too, and my stomach was just feeling weird all weekend. But I don't know if it was something I ate or
It
just
could
a
just be
real
a stomach virus
quick
going
bug
on.
or something.
Seems like everybody's
Could have
coming down
been the
some.
green bean casserole without the bacon bits. Your body was like, wait a second, there's no bacon in this green bean
it was
casserole.
turning itself around.
Yep, it was like
Rejected it.
imbalance.
What was I gonna say? I feel like what usually causes that for me, Kenny, is salad. I feel like if I get salad at a place where they're not careful about cross contamination, that is a trigger for
That could be it.
those episodes.
I could definitely see that happening though,
Yeah.
because you get people who are they're gonna go wash the salad or get the salad ready, but they were just handling meats and they weren't careful or thorough about cleaning the hands or anything like that.
Yeah, and as somebody that worked on a line in a restaurant for many
You know
years,
how it is, you
I
know?
know how it is. So,
I worked at Ruby Tuesday for 3 weeks,
oh yeah, true
and I
that.
worked at Red Rose for 8 months.
Oh, that's something.
So I know,
Yeah.
As somebody who watches Food Wars on Hulu, I know how the line works.
Oh, okay. What's Food Wars?
It's an anime about a cooking high school.
That sounds
And
pretty good.
There's this kid who grows up in a small town diner, and he doesn't even realize that his dad is like some master chef. And his dad sends him to this high school that's full of like aspiring young chef folks, and it's very prestigious, but he's just like a regular old kid who learned how to cook from his dad in his family diner, and he's trying to become the top graduate at the school.
Always trying to be the top of something in these animes.
And this anime is very suggestive.
Yeah?
Yes.
Okay. And what's it called again?
Food Wars.
Food Wars. Interesting
Good.
title.
And it is
Very
dubbed,
popular.
so if you're looking for a dubbed anime.
Okay. I've been watching Neon Genesis Evangelion, which is really good. You should check it out. I think you would like it. It's that classic one from 1995 that's now on Netflix if anybody else is interested. It's mechs and, it's the future, but it's actually 2015, which is fun. Kind of like Blade Runner. We just passed when that takes place. But y'all probably knew about that show already. So yeah, should we get into it? Is it
Let's
that
go.
time of the show where we talk about
game time, it's
what
game
we've
time.
been playing? All right. And as I said, sorry, no Anthony, no Pokemon. And we're probably going to talk about Death Stranding a lot.
I caught so many Pokemon, and I got Wobble, and I got Weeble, and I started with the water Pokemon, and I am now the Pokemon Champion Master.
So I'm gonna need you to try.
That's all we
try-
needed. That's pretty much what he would have said.
Hit me with the Pokemon Trump.
I can't do Pokemon Trump.
Okay, yeah, I won't do
He
it.
might come next week.
Pokemon Trump will be in attendance next week.
So I've been playing Death Stranding mostly. I'm now mid-chapter 5, 24 hours in. I am really liking it. I think I'm in a good vibe with it. My only concerns, well, I don't want to say only, but my biggest pet peeve with the game is the item management system regarding the weapons. I don't find it to be intuitive, and I find that I'm having to open up the menu more often than I would like in order to switch things around. But I'm really enjoying this, the landscapes and getting to learn the map. And now that I'm deep enough into the game, vehicles are like kind of a dime a dozen. They're pretty much readily available for when you would want to use them. There are a lot of times where they're impractical because you're going up a big mountain where you just need to, place a ladder here to get across this chasm, and maybe you don't have the necessary things to build a bridge, which you could drive over. So you can take the motorcycle over bridges, which is cool. Yes. But the big truck, which you need for some missions where you need to have a lot of cargo, you need to have a bridge. And I build a few bridges, but the supply, you need a lot of supplies for that. Have you gotten to the point, Kenny, where you rebuilt your first road?
No, I'm gonna be honest. I think I followed into my JRPG ways while playing Death Stranding. I find myself just delivering shit, and I'm still in chapter 2.
Oh man,
I'm a mover and everything. Like I've hit mover. My stats or my delivery ratings are up there, and I'm like, I think I should be heading to port, not city, but I want to deliver the standard delivery. And then I go to one of those online on the storage post box. Then I'm like, oh, there's lost cargo. Maybe I should deliver this lost cargo.
Okay, so you're gonna probably play this 100 hours by the time the credits roll.
Yeah, because I'm up there. I'm at like 15 hours and chapter 2 still.
I recommend pushing on a little bit because those are sort of randomly generated, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah. So, I mean, even though they're fun and it's cool to deliver pizza to people that are requesting it across the apocalyptic terrain.
Hey, I literally, I was on the party with somebody. I'm like, I don't know why I'm hooked, but just delivering things. Like, I'm just hopping on my motorcycle.
Next thing you're
putting as much shit, and then I found myself, I'm like over encumbering myself where I'm holding on to 190 like kilograms or whatever the weight is, and I'm only supposed to be holding on to 125, and I'm crouching. So I always have balance, but then it's destroying my boots. So I have always 3 boots ready to replace them. So I'm like a turtle, and I'm delivering all of this.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, you're not optimizing things correctly. So I'm going to encourage you to get to chapter 3 because once you defeat the boss at the end of chapter 2, I believe it's right then where you get an item. And the game's been out a couple weeks now. It's a small spoiler, but you get these things that attach to your legs that boost your carrying capacity to 240.
Oh, don't tell me that. It's going to get wild now with my delivery if I can carry 240.
Yeah, so that's how you see me with my ridiculous, 15 feet high.
Yeah, if everybody, whoever's watching, if you haven't checked us out on Instagram, we have a snapshot of Wiley just traversing with God knows how many boxes on his back.
I've reached the limit because you get to a point where you're not at the weight limit, but you're just at your item limit.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, so where it just becomes, I guess, too ridiculous to show 45 suitcases stacked on top of Sam Porter Bridge's back. What else can I say about the game?
Yeah, I definitely need to get into a little bit more because I am more interested in how the combat and thing progresses with the BTs and all that. Because right now I feel like I'm just running away from them, or it's hard to it's kind of hard to avoid them at points.
It is, and I will. That's a good. I'm glad you said that because I had my first moment of it sort of clicking with me when I successfully made it through a BT area without getting caught. where it was very satisfying to get through. You really do have to take it slow and analyze where your little guy is pointing in the direction and, walking the opposite way and holding your breath once they start to get too close. And but you're right, though. A lot of times running away is just as viable an option. I mean, it's a little risky in order of, like, you could damage your cargo.
Yeah, especially if you have a bunch of cargo. I mean, you can't really run that fast when you have tons of cargo on you.
Yeah.
You could ride your motorcycle pretty fast through the BT territory.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, so that's another option.
Or you could fight your way like I've been doing. I sit there with like 40 grenades and I was like, oh, BTs want some? Like, you see me crouching with a bunch of cargo and I'm like, oh, BT there? Grenade. Then BT's exploding away.
Well, I'm trying to avoid BTs at all costs. I'm like, no thanks. I'll take out the mules, but the BTs are like, I'm going along with the narrative and role playing as like there's, and I'm definitely role playing a lot in this game because like it's similarly to Red Dead Redemption 2. After I've had a real shit show and I'm covered in blood and I'm tired, I'm like, I need a shower. For no other reason than it just makes me feel better to see Sam clean again and not covered in the black BT goop.
You see, I'm the complete opposite. Like my Sam is like going through the thick of shit. I've been in the BT. I went into the BT territory where I think I dropped like 12 of them. Like just grenade.
Holy
grenade
shit!
Here, grenade there. Then when the things were pulling at my legs, I'd shake them off, run away, and then I'm like, "Oh, that's as far as you can go. Grenade, you guys!" Like, and the grenade when you throw it at the block, I didn't realize it until I just tried it. You could get rid of the black when they're in the ground trying to pull at you. You could get rid of them with the grenade.
Oh, really?
If you toss it at the ground.
Huh, never knew that. Because
Yep.
when I see those arms, I'm bolting. I'm like, just get me out of there. Because I know you can stealthily avoid them. What'll happen in the game is you'll be sneaking along, and if your cover is blown, essentially, these black arms of the ghost BTs will start coming out of the ground, and that's what sort of initiates the whole, oh, fuck, you're seen. Now it's like time to fight or run. But yeah, I didn't know that. That's cool to know.
You see, you grind like me. Chapter 2, you find out these things.
So you said you're a mover now. The game gives you ratings based on
I may have
how
passed,
much delivered.
I may have passed mover because I've been delivering. Like I was a mover, and at 79, like by Friday.
So what you passed 100 yet?
I'm at maybe 92.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm at like 120 something, but I am like 7 hours ahead of you. So.
Yeah, and I made like already like 15 contracts with people, like
Oh,
online
okay.
players.
Gotcha. Yeah.
So I'm like, the moment I can make contracts with people, I'm like, oh, you got a high rating contract. Contract.
Talk a little bit more about what the contracts do.
I actually don't even know. I think I was half asleep.
Because I'm like, that's part of something I've not interacted
So
with.
one of my, at least from my understanding, is to kind of highlight that player more in your world. That's what I'm
Oh, okay.
thinking.
I think you're right. I think
So
I
it's
have
like
heard that.
if structures that they build, those structures will almost always pop up in your world. So if they built a bridge, that bridge should be there. You know, if they have a post box and that stuff in there, that should be.
Okay, well,
popping
why
up.
aren't we contracted with each other?
Because it's just random. Like you can't contract with people in your friends list.
Really?
It's whoever like
It's just
you
in your
slightly
server.
interacted through your world. So it's kind of generated by the Death Stranding game. Like whoever they have you interact with lost cargo, or they've delivered your lost cargo, things like that.
That seems like something they could implement, maybe. I don't know. It kind of it does. I can see how you could sort of cheese your way through the game.
Where I could be like, hey, Wiley, leave a bridge. XYZ, like, you know.
Yeah.
I won't lie. When I first was able to contract 5 people, I went looking for your name,
Oh yeah.
and I just couldn't find it.
Totally just random train of thought here, but so I asked if you would build a bridge yet. I mean, a road yet.
No.
They're freaking awesome when you build
they?
them. They're so big, and they have turbo things for your bike on them.
Really?
I mean, people can leave them. They're an item that you drop, and just spending the first 2 chapters of the game so encumbered, and a journey across the map takes half an hour or whatever. The fact that you can fly through on a motorcycle is like, oh my god, this is pretty cool.
I can't wait to hit that because I've definitely found myself where like the bike has like 2 60-pound barrels or 80-pound barrels on each side, like one on each side, and then I'm at 125, at my limit. So then the bike is like going the slowest possible, and the mules are like chasing me, and so they're pretty much neck and neck with me, and I'm like, oh no, don't hit me. You see me kind of like swerving left and right, trying to avoid mules, how slow I'm going.
Mm-hmm.
I'm even going through BT territory at that speed, and I'm like, oh shit, I'm gonna get grabbed. Just get through, Sam. You got this.
That's funny. Seems like we're playing it pretty differently.
Oh yeah. Oh, you people don't want to see me streaming this game. It would look tedious watching me play.
He's just like always over encumbered and
Yep.
surrounded by enemies and
At all times. I was sitting there and I'm like, I don't think Wiley's fought this many BTs as I have.
no, definitely
Like I'm not even attempting to. I haven't even like. There was one point I was trying to get to the wind farm to deliver some shit, and I wasn't even holding my breath. It was almost like I was inviting the BTs to see me. I'm like, oh, you're right there.
How are you affording? How are you like? Is your just half your inventory grenades? It's gotta be
Pretty much, like
Yeah.
with like 6 blood packs. Like so, I got a bunch of grenades, bunch of blood packs, and then just items to deliver. And I just brought, and I pretty much, I'm like, oh, these people left the rope here, ladder here. I don't need ladders. I don't need this. It's all set up for me.
But
So I
it
just walk
feels
around
so
with
good
the-
doing a ladder. That's
I
like
know.
my favorite part of the game. Is
But
like,
I just walk around like Riddle Warfare, grenade equipped already. I'm not even in BT territory. I'm ready.
damn, Sam Porter Bridges doesn't play.
No, he doesn't. No, he does not in my world.
Yeah, exactly.
Like Amelie's waiting for me on the Pacific, and I'm like, you can wait, girl.
Yeah, you can wait a damn long time because I'm not even halfway there yet. Actually, now I'm at the point where they're like, you're halfway there to rebuilding America, and I have a feeling that in the third act that I'm gonna like that's. I've heard that there's some change. I have a feeling that once I do that, there's gonna be more, but we shall see. Definitely gonna keep playing it. As you can tell, I'm pretty enamored with it. Tyler, what about you? You've been playing anything this week?
No, not a whole lot. Still a little bit of Call of Duty here and there, but hasn't really been a big video game week for me. Been working on things, working on future endeavors
Gotcha.
and whatnot.
We have some really cool looking art up, which I'm sure we'll be sharing on social medias. Which who's the person that
Nichols Arts.
Nichols Arts,
Yeah, he's on Instagram and Facebook.
and he did a portrait of the four of us. Anthony not here right now, but looking real animated and comic book and cool.
JoJoized.
Yeah, real JoJo-ized.
So what the hell does that mean?
Anime.
JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
Oh,
in, the,
okay.
in the style of that.
Gotcha. And that's an anime show.
Yep.
Very popular.
Oh, okay.
Has a very fanatical fan base.
I'm still learning. Cool. Well, Kenny and I have jumped into a new Game Pass game, which you can check out if you have access to that. It's called Remnant from the Ashes. It came out a few months ago, so pretty recent get for Game Pass. It is a Dark Souls-like, as in it's very hard, as in you rest at checkpoints to regenerate enemies. It has a lot more focus on gunplay than any of those games. And I played for about 3 hours yesterday, all solo. It is also a up to 3-person cooperative game, and that's how Kenny's been playing it. What are your thoughts so far?
Oh, is this that like procedurally generated game? That's it's like a kind of roguelike-ish.
So it's not procedurally generated. From my understanding, is that the order of levels is procedurally generated. So it's so you could at any time you can re-roll your campaign, which I guess you will not reset your character's progression, but you will get a new order of levels, which is interesting. And it's something that like maybe if they communicated a little bit better on how many levels there were, I would consider it. But it's like, I don't know, do I really want to like go through all that again? And whatever, if you're having fun, then I can understand it. But it seems like something that would be more catered for repeat playthroughs, I guess. Or maybe if you really are struggling and you're like, okay, I've just hit a wall and I want to keep playing the game, you could reset it and then maybe get lucky and get an easier boss earlier on. So yeah, Kenny, what are your thoughts?
I think it's very challenging.
That's for sure.
I give you all the applause in the world because you got through that one boss by yourself, which we struggled and we took about 8 tries, and that was a 3-man team because that boss. It's not the boss that's the difficult part. It's the being swarmed by everything else that is difficult because you had the exploding little round things coming at you, right? So those would explode on you and then would infect you. And when you got infected, you would cough randomly. So you would be trying to roll, but instead of rolling, you're now coughing because you're infected. So it makes it difficult to do all these things.
Yeah, it's definitely a game that features a lot of ad control, more so than Bloodborne or Dark Souls. I think it actually reminds me a little bit of Destiny in that way because there are just these enemies coming from left and right. That's why I do think that it's like very conducive to cooperative play. I'm not sure if enemies scale and have like more health if you have 3 players or not, but I don't think so, but don't quote me on that.
I don't think so because I found that we could take out fair. I think that the health doesn't scale, but I think the amount of enemies spawned in a boss fight is different for more players because I feel as though like some of the ads would spawn a lot faster and would almost come to you if you were trying to revive. Like they would almost focus on you if you're trying to revive the down.
Oh, okay,
teammate.
maybe.
So it almost felt as though like, wow, why are they all focused on me? And I haven't even I haven't taken any shots to create any aggro, and bring any aggression on me. So definitely say after the first boss we fought, we encountered another 3 bosses that I personally felt were much easier than the first one. Like we just ripped through them. But we're currently on a boss that we tried last night 7 times to no success, and to the point where we're like, yeah, we're calling it here. Like we'll retry tomorrow.
Gotcha.
And that one, it's the ads that are messing us up more than anything. They're taking way too many bullets. They're eating bullets like there's no tomorrow, and it almost feels like it doesn't matter what I do. Like I almost feel like I'm the more optimized member out of the group. Like I have the scrapper class, and my health is pretty high, my stamina is pretty high, and I have a boss weapon. Spoiler. Once you beat one of those bosses, you'll be able to get a boss weapon called the Spitfire. That's a SMG weapon, which when you pull its unique mod, you could turn it into a flamethrower.
Sweet.
So that's great for ad control because once they're all grouped up, you just start doing the flamethrower and you take out a good amount of them. But I feel like that's the only time I'm really able to take down ads, and then when one person's down, that means, it's more on me. I think we got to a point with that boss where I think if I would have played it differently instead of attempting to pick up my teammates, I think I could have finished it. So I was really just dodging, taking out ads, trying to manage the ads while also rolling around the map, trying to get to a teammate. And instead of focusing on just taking off the last 20% of health from the boss, I think if I would have just ad control boss would have just juggled it back and forth instead of trying to get to somebody. I could have finished it by myself.
Gotcha.
Right at the end, but
so step back on what the sort of premise of the game is. You're a character you're trying to get to a tower. You get shipwrecked.
You get shipwrecked, and your whole focus is trying to get to this tower so that you can relieve the world of the root. Which is the all-encompassing evil of this world. They're very mysterious about how to get there. They're not trying to let you get to the tower, and then they put you on this hunt to find this man named Ford, who was on the same mission to get to the tower as you prior to arriving.
And then you have your operation base, which sort of works like a Firelink Shrine if you played the Souls games, or the place with the doll in Bloodborne, and you can do your upgrades here, as well as get some respite. So the character, the game has a pretty good character creator. My character is pretty badass. I have to say, I did a good job of making him. And so, how in the beginning you can choose one of 4 different voices.
Yep.
Which voice did you choose?
I would like a little more rugged one because I made my guy like real rugged. Like he got a scar on the face and everything.
Yeah, mine dude, he looks like Lee from The Walking Dead. Okay, and he's got a big beard, and the character voice 3, I'm 95% sure is Lee from The Walking Dead, David Fennoy.
Maybe.
And what's funny is that, your character will only say things like, "Whoa, it's over," after a fight or something.
Or he'll, at least when you're in a group, he'll be, and you're reloading, cover me.
Yeah.
Like,
and one of the NPCs, the really nice one in the town, the one that's like really optimistic and is like, "Hey, friend."
Yep.
That's the same voice. So my character and
Reggie, the NPC Reggie.
Yeah.
Yep.
So we are the same voice actor. I'm like almost sure. So
You're twins?
It's super funny because they're like, if we're gonna get Dave Fennoy, who's like he's not quite Troy Baker levels, but he's a big voice actor in games, and he's Lee from The Walking Dead. We're gonna have him do more than grunt and say, "Cover me."
Yeah.
So he plays an NPC as well. I mean, an NPC.
So when you're playing this game, do you have to enter like a specific campaign that's good, either single player or co-op, or like could you playing single player to start playing co-op like whenever you wanted in your campaign?
Yeah, and actually I was looking around though, Kenny, and I couldn't find the option for that. And
You just invite me in.
from what menu?
So I think you just go to my name, my gamer tag, and press invite to game. So then I accept it, and I'll join the game, right? And then you have to go to a checkpoint, one of the stones, because then once I start spectating your world, you gotta release me, and you gotta summon me from the stone.
Oh.
You have to just go to a stone, press it, and then my guy will kind of get spit out from the stone into your world.
I do wish the game had a matchmaking system, some sort of summoning system.
So you could just play with some randoms.
Yeah, exactly, because it's really hard. I don't know if we stressed that. Like the game is, it doesn't seem. That first boss, when I first started, I was like, this might be where I throw in the towel. But then I got into that Dark Souls Bloodborne mindset where I'm like, one more time, let's go. And after, I think it took me about a dozen tries, and I finally took him out. But if they had some sort of item you could use, maybe a consumable to get, I don't know, a ghost of another player to come help you, that would be, I would appreciate it as somebody that doesn't have a ton of friends that play Xbox games. I have like a shitload of PSN friends, but not too many on Xbox. But I digress. I'm pretty impressed. I think the gunplay is super satisfying.
I enjoy it. I've been rolling around with a sniper, and I didn't realize that I had a double tap the left trigger to zoom in. So I have been taking sniper shots from just regular aim.
Oh wow!
From people like
You did double tap the left
you just
trigger.
double tap and hold. So you got to double tap the left trigger and hold it, and you'll zoom down the scope, the sniper scope.
What does a single tap do?
Just regular aim. You just hold, like if you just.
So you're still looking down sights a little bit, but not
down
like
a little bit, but not
because
down the scope.
I can understand that because they want it to be a versatile weapon, and the game is so much close counter stuff.
Exactly. So if you're close counters,
So you have to really commit to it.
Yep.
Yeah. And then our right trigger is melee.
Yep. If you're not holding the left trigger, then it's melee. Yep.
Yeah, and I think that's really smart and effective. And the melee weapons are really good. It's kind of a good balance. I'm definitely shooting more than I'm meleeing as far as killing.
And I will say, because you wouldn't know because you've been soloing it right now, but when you're in a group, communication is key, because let's say you're taking shots, but I get in your way, friendly fire is on.
Really?
So I'll take damage.
That's
from
cool.
your shots. If I'm not being careful, if I'm just being wild and getting in your way, like you could down me, and that could just throw the whole strategy for a loop, because some of these bosses will hit you once and drop you,
It's a Souls game.
Yeah,
It's a Souls-like, I should say.
Souls-like, and I've been enjoying it. I truly have. I actually feel like of any Souls-like game, I feel like I'm a beast at this one.
It's a little more accessible than most, because like the items are very simple. It's not obtuse, and
the trait system is pretty because you're real early on in the trait system, but as you progress, like you'll get to a point where you have like 14 traits that all give different boosts. There's one trait that you can't get unless you're playing multiplayer, because you have to.
And are traits like passive perks?
So yeah, pretty much like passive perks. So when you go to your traits, you should have some trait points. I don't know if you've been investing them.
I've been investing them into health.
Exactly. So there'll be other traits that'll come up. There's
Yeah, because there's spaces for way more.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So there's a revivalist one, so it'll increase the revive speed, like of you reviving others. So you can only unlock that one by reviving people a certain amount of times.
Oh, okay. So it's unlocked by in-game action, not by.
Some are unlocked by in-game action. Oh, all of them are unlocked by in-game actions, like getting to a certain world, getting to another world, or getting to a certain world, or walking into a certain room, or getting through a certain mini dungeon. Like, you'll get these certain acts, or completing a side mission, you'll get this other trait. So I'm up to about 13, 14 traits right now that all do different things. So that's been helpful. Another one I will say, there's a teamwork trait. That one, you have to really go into the trait menu and then press X to really get the description of what the traits do. Because I didn't realize that the teamwork trait actually gives you additional XP earned from fights. So you wouldn't know that unless you expand the details on it.
Yeah.
So I started increasing that one because I'm like, I want XP. I want to be able to get trait points to increase other traits and things like that,
Yeah, it's a good thing to get early on, it seems like.
So I would say in my playtime right now, I want to say I played about 8 to 9 hours already.
Mm-hmm.
I'm at trait level 67.
Dang, seems high. I think I'm at like 15 when I logged off last night, so got a long way to go.
Sounds like a game I would get into and get excited about, but alas, I don't have an Xbox.
Well, it is on PS4
PC?
and PC. It's $40 full price. Like I said, it's now on Game Pass, which I feel like every other episode we're talking about a new Game Pass joint.
Hey, that's good.
And yeah, that's actually the only 2 games I've touched this past week. Kenny, anything else you'd like to touch on before we move on to the news?
No, honestly, those have been the only games I've been playing other than Call of Duty, and I'm always raging on that. So that's all. I actually really been enjoying Remnant. There is a lot of new additions that got added to Game Pass.
Yeah, might as well just segue
Yep.
into
Cruising for a news.
in the part of the show where we write stuff on a page and read it back to you in the video game world of happenings and going-ons. So we're going to skip ahead a little bit from the outline since we've been talking Xbox.
Are we?
I think we're going to do a little recap, and this happened 4 or 5 days ago prior to the recording of the show, so I'm sure y'all big-time video game people already know about it. But over the weekend, Microsoft hosted its XO19 event in London with a 2-hour press conference. Here are some of the bigger announcements. Rare, formerly Rareware, announced new game Everwild. Nothing really said about the game other than a kind of visual tease, and it looks like some pretty nature stuff going on. It's got another similar cel-shaded or semi-cel-shaded art style that Sea of Thieves has. It kind of gave me some Ori and the Blind Forest vibes with the nature yet impending doom flavor that I got from it. So that's cool. Rare's making another game. No surprise there. But they also announced some new Sea of Thieves content, so that's still out there. You guys ever mess with Sea of Thieves?
No, I haven't.
I tried, and it had no instructions. So
Yeah, it's terrible.
Very confused.
It's
and
different
lost.
now.
I've heard it's different. I've heard it's more optimized now, but I was off the jump, like day one, trying to play Sea of Thieves, and I was like, what do you do?
Yeah. Yeah, pretty
And
much.
I was like, this is getting uninstalled. I'm very
Yeah, I'd like to
confused.
give it another try. I mean, it does seem like a good co-op game. I know that it's got a Twitch following.
I wouldn't mind giving it a try if you wanted to install it. I'll follow your lead on that. So, we'll figure it out somehow.
We'll figure it out.
But I definitely wanted to check it out. Like, I'm like, oh, let's check it out. And me and my buddy who I game share with, like, we were very confused.
Yeah, it's not great at onboarding. So Obsidian announced a new game who recently released The Outer Worlds. They announced Grounded. They should note that this is being made by a small dev team within Obsidian. So it's kind of like the kids at the lunch table are sitting over here working on Grounded. Everybody else is doing Outer Worlds. And so it's not like the whole studio has been working on it. So it's got... You play as kids that have been shrunk down to like ant or bug size. You're trying to traverse, and it's a survival game in your own backyard or somebody's backyard. I got serious A Bug's Life and like ants vibes from it. It looked cute.
Look at me, I'm a beautiful butterfly.
Classic. It's on Disney Plus.
Yeah.
You could go home and watch it.
Did you pick up Disney Plus?
I did. I followed Tyler's instructions, and I got my dad the year of, if you have Verizon Wireless Unlimited, you get a free year of Disney Plus. So yeah, I've watched the first episode of Mandalorian. Haven't watched the second yet.
I watched the first episode also.
Yeah. Oh, you haven't seen the second?
Nope.
No. So we also got a release date for Ninja Theory's Bleeding Edge, which is the game they announced at E3. Looks very sort of Borderlands-esque in terms of its humor and its visual flair and its, big fat characters with big boobs.
So I definitely want to mention Bleeding Edge is available to install as a closed beta with Game Pass. I think Game Pass Ultimate.
Do you have to be an ambassador?
No, you don't gotta be ambassador like me. But I did see that it was readily available for me to install right now.
Huh.
I saw that last night.
So you have to be a Games Pass member, and
I believe
that's
so,
it?
or a Game Pass Ultimate. I'm not sure because I'm an Ultimate member. Can't tell you if you could just be a regular Game Pass member and install it, but
Good to know. If you'd like to check out the new Bleeding Edge game, Ninja Theory's new joint.
yeah. So my understanding, it's their closed beta. So that's what it says in the description that it's in closed beta right now.
That's a pretty open closed beta.
Yeah, right? Like, well,
Right.
you gotta pay for Game Pass and then
Yeah,
you get
yeah.
it. So
Gotcha.
yeah.
We also got an announcement of Age of Empires 4. That's a big series. I know that it's not my thing, but I'd like to give it a try. It's like one of those things that I always envision myself one day I'll be smart enough to play these games.
No, I mean, I was really into like Age of Empires in high school. I remember in our old woodshop class, we had some tech savvy high schoolers that downloaded Age of Empires on the PCs in our woodshop class, and then we would just connect to the LAN the network at school, and then we would play against each other.
That's so late, or no, that wasn't the 90s, but yeah, it's so old school.
Yeah.
So that was
if
Age
you
of Empires
wanna-
1.
I think it was Age of Empires 2.
Okay.
So if you're interested in playing some Age of Empires, I'd be down.
Okay, good to know.
I know. I just started. I know one of my buddies. He
Get
tried
my
to get me
elephants.
into like a similar game, Stellaris, and I just couldn't because they were already like deep into their galaxies and what was going on. I was 20 minutes in, jumping in, and we had aliens invading the galaxy. So I was like, yeah, I'm all set. I'm
I
confused.
haven't played like a what's even like the style of like that game? What would you call it? I mean, it's a
Civilization building RTS.
yeah. I haven't played one of those in a while. I mean, I was really into like Halo Wars for a while when
word.
that came out.
Halo Wars 2 is on Game Pass.
Yeah, well, I don't got
Get a fucking Xbox.
He doesn't even need to
I got my
get
PC.
an Xbox.
Oh,
He
yeah.
just needs to connect the PC and get the Game Pass on there.
Okay,
I
well,
know.
I'm just saying, that's what I mean. Like, he could be playing Remnant with us because I believe that's on console and PC Game Pass.
But is it cross-platform?
It is because Game Pass. Because once you add the Game Pass, you have to get an Xbox. You got to make the Xbox account on your PC.
right. I'll
So
look into it.
we can invite you to a party chat. We can play with you Game Pass, like games that you can play from the Xbox store on PC. We can play with you also. Like Gears 5, we can play with you because it'll show on the screen. It'll be like level with you, Ty. PC. It'll have a PC icon.
Okay.
really?
Yep.
Okay.
Well, hopefully by this weekend I'll have my computer set up.
It's been a
down
long time coming. It's been
Ah.
when did you move in here? 2 years
here.
ago?
I mean, I had my computer set up for a while, and then I got a roommate, and things happened, and
Life happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm not letting him live any excuses. I don't have an Xbox. No, you got a PC.
Next announcement. We should also know Age of Empires 2 Definitive Edition now on Game Pass. Don't Nod, the developers of Life is Strange, announced a new story-based game called Tell Me Why.
Tell me why.
First game to feature a trans character as the protagonist. See how that shakes out. Life is Strange 2 really is a big flop, it seems like, because of all
I
of
heard a lot about it.
yeah, I mean, the first game was, you had Chloe, you had Max, these great queer characters that so many people identified with, and it was a very well-written and memorable game, and the second one doesn't seem to be catching on, even though it's getting pretty good critical acclaim. I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that the release schedule has been so staggered. But I think with this game, they've announced that it's a 3-episode game. 1 month you get first story, next month you get the second, and then the third, because that's been this whole issue with story-based games in general, going all the way back to Telltale, is that you never knew when the next one was coming out. And sure, they had the previouslys that would catch you up and were appreciated, but like it's not the same. You don't want to wait 2 episodes between a show you're watching. So I would, they would always go on deep sales anyway. So that's why I stopped buying Telltale games when they came out.
Whatever happened to that other story game about the kid who wanted to be a superhero or something like that?
That was just a one-off game they did.
I can't remember what it's called.
Yeah, it was called this Life of Captain Adventure.
Yeah.
Something
like that.
It was a free game that they made in between Life is Strange 1 and 2. So
right.
I actually never got around to playing that, but I hear it was good. Next announcement, Halo Reach finally gets an announcement date. It's coming to the Master Chief Collection on December 4th. This is exciting news for me. I have not played the original Halo Reach since it came out, and that's almost 10 years now. I don't have any really recollection of it. I remember loving it at the time. I remember thinking as a kid, this is the best one since Halo 1. So,
And I would like to add for Tyler, the MCC collection is on Game Pass PC now as well, which was just added this past week.
that is big news. And I know we've been on an Xbox tangent for a while, but Rage 2 is another game that was announced that came out earlier this year that's available there now. We've already talked about Revenant and Age of Empires 2. Later this year, we're going to be getting The Witcher 3 as well as Darksiders 3. Then we got some announcements of games coming in 2020. The big ones for me include Yakuza 0, Yakuza Kiwami 1 and Kiwami 2, which are remakes of the original PS2 games. 0 I've been almost buying for so many times. In fact, one night I thought I did buy it, and I texted you guys, but I guess I never pushed the last button because I was like, where is that? It's been like 4 days. And I was like, oh, I didn't actually buy it. Flight Simulator, Will of the Wisps, which is the sequel to Ori and the Blind Forest, Ori and the Will of the Wisps. So yeah, that pretty much is the big stuff.
And then all the Final Fantasy games.
Oh shit, I totally skimmed over that. Thank you. That's kind of crazy. So Final Fantasy 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, and 13, 1 through 3, all coming to Game Pass.
Yep.
It really is.
They're beefing up Game Pass.
They're beefing it up big time.
Yep. They're coming strong next year in preparation for Scarlet.
Yeah, and they really are. Sony's going to have to. I mean, you recently saw Sony have somewhat of a reaction. They cut the price in half. Now it's $10 a month, just like Game Pass. They added God of War. They added, what was the other? Horizon.
Yep.
So there's certainly some value there, but they're not getting stuff like every month that's of notable nature, like Game Pass is. So we'll see how that shakes out. Our next story comes from actually I'm gonna skip back to our first story. New Half-Life game announced. Holy shit! So Valve's Twitter revealed that they're working on a new Half-Life game called Half-Life Alyx. Who Alex is the character that sort of the main character besides Gordon in the Half-Life 2 game, which came out in 2004 now. A new VR game in the Half-Life series has officially been announced. The new title, in a tweet as Valve's flagship VR title, will be unveiled on Thursday, November 20th at 10 a.m. Pacific time. Does that make sense? Thursday the 20th? Because today is Tuesday the 19th. So maybe it's Wednesday the 20th. This has been rumored for some time now, and it appears those rumors are true. Thankfully, we won't have to wait long to find out more. So probably by the time that you're listening to this, you can probably go check it out. The new Half-Life game. Is it going to be a full-fledged, gigantic Half-Life 2 true sequel that people have been waiting for 15 years now? We'll find out.
Yeah, we'll find out, but I doubt it.
You doubt it? You think it's going to be an experience?
Most likely. I mean, there'll be plenty of gameplay to experience.
But are they? This is their opportunity. This is the one franchise that has always been so like rumored and respected and thought of as revolutionary that it almost felt like they couldn't do anything except for make a VR game because they want to be taking that next step. I don't know. I think it could be a big deal.
Yeah, I mean, this is their opportunity to make a big splash.
Mm-hmm.
Or they could just play it safe.
What is playing it safe and make a real game?
No,
I mean, not a real game,
like
but
just an experience. Like this is Half-Life, Alex, the
yeah,
5-hour experience.
If you're looking for Diablo Immortals Volume 2. Yeah, that's the reaction I think they would get if it turns out to be like, a tease where you play in a couple hours and it looks great. There's some great physics, but it doesn't continue the story. So I think it's going to be cool. I got my hopes up. I played Half-Life 2. And I know this is not the way to play it, but on the original Xbox, because it was a PC game that was later ported to Xbox. And sure, it didn't have maybe all the bells and whistles, but it was still an amazing game. I never finished the first one. I did finish the second one. But yeah, it's been a long time. Next story is regarding Call of Duty Modern Warfare. So there's been rumors, and these have been data mined. And
a lot of leaks.
A lot of leaks. You want to take this, Tyler? My voice is getting a little tired.
Sure. I'll read everything that I can. Call of Duty Modern Warfare has been data mined to within an inch of its life, revealing a raft of details about the inevitable Battle Royale mode. Over on Modern Warfare subreddit, notorious Call of Duty leaker Senescalo posted the massive map for the Battle Royale. The leak reveals a full list of zones and points of interest, perks, and kill streaks. The default option sets the player count at 200, with modes for solos, duos, and squads of 4. As players have already pointed out, Modern Warfare's Battle Royale map includes the huge Ground War and Spec Ops maps inside. It's massive, but so it should be if we're looking at a 200-player experience. There's an interesting sounding respawn mechanic. Respawn tokens can be looted. After you use one, they're disabled for you. To respawn a teammate, you have to burn your respawn token and drag their body to the ambulance. This enters them into the gulag queue. At some point in the match, the gulag closes, thus preventing respawns. And the gulag basically sounds like a prison camp that gives players a chance to get back into the match by winning a 1v1 fight. Players in the gulag queue spectate the players currently fighting in the gulag with a countdown showing how long you have left before it's your turn to fight. And apparently at times a jailbreak can happen that kicks all players out of the gulag and back into the match. Interestingly, you can place bets on players who are fighting in gulag using plunder, which according to Senescalo's post, you earn by completing missions and eliminating enemies. You spend plunder on items at plunder box locations and can convert it into experience points by depositing it into ATM machines. When players enter a bank, the bank alarm will sound, alerting other players to your presence. Senescalo has even uncovered an image for plunder.
Wow. That is a hell of a mode sounding there.
Yeah, it sounds nuts.
It sounds like, honestly, like aside from the campers, I've been enjoying Call of Duty.
Mm-hmm.
I'll definitely play the Battle Royale.
Oh, for sure. I mean, I think that's pretty cool, the fact that it's 200 players. I mean, it's like taking the standard amount and being like, yeah, we're doubling it. Mm-hmm. I mean, not that alone makes it cool, but the whole gulag mechanic, although...
That's crazy. That's like something never heard of.
For sure. It's a definitely cool spin on it.
It's like a mini match within a match, like 1v1ing somebody just for the chance to come back. Like, imagine that. Like, you're on the mic with your friends, like, I'm trying to take them out. I'll be right there, guys.
What do you think that's going to be, like hand combat?
I would say, like, handgun and knife.
Yeah, it'll probably be something like how the 2-on-2 is set up. Mm-hmm. They're going to give each person the same weapons.
Oh,
and then
okay.
They're going to have to fight each other.
Yeah, with like only 2 or 3 lanes of a small map to go at.
Probably.
Gotcha. Okay, that's
so. Honestly, I could see it just being all these 1v1s being set in like the 2v2 maps.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
It's a very neat sounding mode. I mean, we should say that this is not confirmed. It could just be in the code, and maybe it was an experiment that didn't quite make the cut. Yeah. So it is rumor, but you do expect them to add some sort of battle royale mode after that was like, half the game of Black Ops 4, or maybe a third of it. And people like that a lot. I don't know how active it is now with Modern Warfare being out, which kind of sucks for them.
Yeah, I'm sure it's active to an extent until they release Battle Royale for Modern Warfare.
Yeah, true. So we'll see. What do you guys think? If this does come out, do we think that what's the pricing model going to be?
I mean, you hope that's going to be free. That's going to be just free DLC.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, Battle Royale came with Black Ops, didn't it? You didn't have to pay anything extra for it.
Yeah, well, I didn't have a campaign.
Right. I would place it at, if it was going to get smacked with a price tag, $14.99.
I don't think it'll have a price tag. Not when it wants to complete with Fortnite and...
Exactly. So we're assuming it's coming free.
Yeah.
But if it gets smacked with a price tag, I'm saying $14.99.
But you bet your bottom dollar it'll have a battle pass.
Yes.
Yeah. So
definitely have a battle pass.
I mean, doesn't Call of Duty already have one? The Modern Warfare?
No.
Maybe not. Maybe not. Because I've only played like 3 matches. So
you know what? Gears has the battle pass. That's what it is.
Gears has it. Destiny has it.
But no battle pass. And I think there's just some like battle pass-esque thing once you get to a certain like level.
Okay.
Like
Gotcha.
50 something.
But yeah, I mean, the stuff about the gulag and everything like that, this whole plunder idea about being able to bet on people, and which is kind of interesting. It makes you think, it's like, when do you get to bet on people?
Yeah.
Is this like in game? Are you like watching an arena of people fighting and you're like making bets there or something? I don't know.
Or maybe you could be watching on Twitch and bet somehow. No.
Yeah,
we can dream.
I would assume it could be like where you're like behind like these walls that have like these openings, these window openings that you could bet on, like the left side or the right side, with your plunder. So my question, Wiley, is, will this bring you into the dark side of the multiplayer of Call of Duty with us?
Oh, for sure. Yeah. I mean, the only reason that I haven't been there to begin with is Death Stranding, is that I've been so absorbed with that. Okay. It's not that I've been like...
avoiding it or anything.
Yeah, no, I'm not avoiding it. And
Death Stranding is pretty good, so I definitely understand.
Yeah, yeah, I don't know. I whenever I do sort of try to jump into a match, and I've only done it a couple times now, the time to kill is so fast compared to something like Destiny, which is where I've spent most of my PvP time. So I'm like, oh fuck, I'm dead. It's like, oh, I just got a triple kill because I just lined up 3 people and got lucky.
Yeah.
And so I definitely feel like I have a lot to learn.
I try to get at least daily some matches in, because at this point I just go into the shoot house 24/7 mode. That new map, I'm in love with that new map, the shoot house map, and I just go in there and I play whatever mode they give me. So I just press that one and it'll be kill confirmed, or it'll be TDM, or it'll be headquarters.
Is this a new map?
Yeah. So they have literally a mode where it's shoot house 24/7, and you could play any mode, and most of the modes within that map.
That's
and
cool.
it'll always just be that map.
And that probably will only be an option for a little bit longer.
Time. Yeah. So I'm taking advantage of it, because in that map alone almost doesn't matter what mode I'm playing. I am averaging about 25 kills a game.
Dang.
Wow.
Nice.
That map is my map.
Nice. Cool. That's like Hang 'em High in Halo 1. See how long it's been for me since I was into a multiplayer shooter. So I'm actually going to skip over the sales data here. We didn't have the Game Awards announcements to talk about, and I think it's pretty dry and people don't care too much. The big thing is that Call of Duty sold a lot, 12 years in a row. It's been the number 1 selling game in its release month. Let's see, what else? Is there anything else noteworthy here that's really anybody would care about? Hardware spending's down 41% compared to last year. That means people are ready for new consoles. Outer Worlds seems to be doing very well. Debuted at number 2. Luigi's Mansion at number 3. But I'm not going to go down all 20, and that's the U.S. charts. So, the Game Awards, the Keeleys, they are every December, hosted by Jeff Keighley. They're on streaming services, and they're actually pretty good now. 2014 was the first year where he took over the mantle of hosting, and they stopped those god-awful Spike TV ones. And now it's got an air of respectability. I think that they are highly entertaining to watch, not only because you get the game announcements or the trailers for unreleased stuff. They do cool like tributes to people that have been working in the industry for a long time. And last year we got Reggie and Sean Layden and Phil Spencer on a stage, and two of them retired afterwards. But so we're gonna go over the nominations.
We're gonna say who we think is gonna win. Our predictions.
You want to say the prediction? Yeah, let's do our predictions, and we won't do our personal because I know that maybe only half of the games we've all played. So, Game of the Year. I got 6 nominations. First is Control. Next is Death Stranding. Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Resident Evil 2. Sekiro, Shadows Die Twice, and The Outer Worlds. What do we think's taking it home?
I feel like Death Stranding is probably going to have to take it out of that lineup.
So, the people that vote, it's voted on by the outlets that are also the ones that nominate these games. So there's like, I want to say it's like 120 different outlets or something like that, they have to send in the people that they want to nominate, and that's how they're chosen, the nominees. And then they also are the ones voting on it. So you're going with Death Stranding?
Yeah, that's what I think.
I'm going to go Super Smash Brothers.
I'm going to go Super Smash Brothers too. I remember last year feeling that it was such bullshit that it wasn't viable because it came out in early December.
Yep.
So it technically came out in 2018, but since it was not eligible last year, it is eligible this year. I think just the fact that it's on there in the first place gives...
And I think the argument with the amount of support and the fixes and the nerfs and the balances, and they just provided all across this past year with all the DLC characters, I think it runs away with it, because because of the DLC characters and the quality behind them. Even though they're not part of the base game, but still, some people will argue it.
Best game direction: Control, Death Stranding, Resident Evil 2, Sekiro, Shadows Die Twice, and The Outer Wilds. I think Death Stranding is going to get it.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think that arguably you could definitely make a case for Control.
Yeah, he definitely could.
Yeah. Best narrative: A Plague Tale: Innocence, Control, Death Stranding, Disco Elysium, The Outer Worlds. I did it finally. I fucked it.
It's tough.
I don't even know what a Plague Tale is.
I almost picked that one up, but that one is about I believe a mother and the child trying to traverse this world, and where like almost the monsters is like these hordes of rats, like, and they're like the area of the world is like plague ridden, and there's almost like no combat. It's almost like a sneak, like you sneak around. It's more story driven.
Gotcha.
But from some of the reviews I saw, some of the combat moments were kind of like, buggy and things like that. But it was more story driven.
I bet Disco Elysium wins this.
You think so?
I think so. I think the other games, it's either that or Control.
I would have said Control, but I don't know enough about the other games to really say much.
Disco Elysium, I've heard it's like it's a isometric computer RPG where you play as a cop, and you can completely role play to the point where, I don't know, there's shitloads of endings. There's just an obscene amount of dialogue. The writing's very sophisticated. I say that with quotes. I've heard very positive things and very mixed things about it. But I think that it's going to have a lot of people passionate about it that are going to want to buy for it because there's not a standout here that runs away with it, and I feel like that's the case with a lot of these categories. Best art direction: Control, Death Stranding, Grease, Sayonara Wild Hearts, Sekiro, Shadows Die Twice, Legend of Zelda: Link's Awakening. Tough one.
I'd have to say either Death Stranding or Control.
But that level in Sekiro towards the end of the game, Fountainhead Palace, is so beautiful. I don't know. What do I think will win? Control. I think Control is going to get a lot of, like, people are going to,
A lot of upsets.
and I think that the game sold like crap. I
think it's gonna get a lot of love.
I hope so. I hope so, and I hope that it gets Remedy some boost sales.
I gotta check that out. I know you enjoyed it.
Yeah, it was great.
That game out.
Best score: Cadence of Hyrule, Death Stranding, Devil May Cry 5, Kingdom Hearts 3, and Sayonara Wild Hearts.
I'm biased. Going Kingdom Hearts 3, something I love that way.
Man, Sayonara Wild Hearts had some pretty sweet beats.
Yeah, it did.
I mean, Death Stranding has some really good songs.
I think
my pick would have been
Death Stranding.
My pick would have been is Death Stranding.
Death Stranding for soundtrack and score, both are excellent.
But I'm just throwing it out there for Kingdom Hearts, just throwing it a bone. My boys, Sora, Mickey.
Best audio design: Call of Duty Modern Warfare, Control, Death Stranding, Gears 5, Resident Evil 2, Sekiro.
Man, Control has a pretty good contention there too, I feel like.
For sure. Definitely some great sound effects and were very immersive and adding to the atmosphere of the game. But then you also think of how amazing Call of Duty Modern Warfare sounded in the campaign with the crazy war zones and all the bullets flying, and I think from a technical aspect that wins.
Sometimes it's like a little too much though in Call of Duty.
It'd be overwhelming at times.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's supposed to feel that way.
Yeah.
I think Sekiro is also tremendous with the swords clashing, and just how satisfying it is to pull off parries. The music is great, just like in every FromSoft game. The boss themes get you hyped up. There's quieter, peaceful moments like in the Fountainhead Palace. Death Stranding, but we're getting score and sound design a little conflated, but it's easy to do that. Next category. Oh, so what's our final prediction? Best audio design. I'm going Call of Duty.
I say Control.
God.
All right. Best performance. Definitely not the standouts that we had last year with I forget who played Arthur from Red Dead Redemption 2. He won, and I think it's the best performance in games history that I can think of.
Yep.
Ashley Birch as Parvati, I always fuck that up, from The Outer Worlds. Everybody likes her. Courtney Hopius as Jesse Faden from Control. Laura Bailey as Kate Diaz from Gear 5's. Mad Mickelson as Cliff from Death Stranding. Matthew Porretta as Dr. Casper from Dr. Casper Darling from Control, and then Norman Reedus as Sam Porter Bridges from Death Stranding. This belongs to Matthew Porretta as Dr. Casper Darling from Control. You guys haven't gotten that far in the game. Like, he's the one that has the live action videos.
Okay, yeah.
So like, he's the scientist, and as the game progresses, he starts to lose it a little, and some of his videos are fantastic. I want to go home and play this game right now just thinking about them.
The DLC's coming soon.
Oh yeah, I'm excited because, oh god, they're so good. They're like the best video logs in gaming history. I'm remembering how great Control was just thinking about some of the later videos that he does. So yeah, I mean, the other ones, nothing really stands out. They're all good, and Mads is kind of finally coming into the game where I'm at. It takes a long time for him to be more than the flash forwards. And Norman Reedus, he's good, but he doesn't deserve it. We're not going to keep on going too much longer because there's like 15 more categories. But games for Impact, Concrete Genie, Grease, Kind Words, Life is Strange 2, and Sea of Solitude. Have not played any of these.
Yeah, me either.
Games for Impact is a category that's, I guess, sort of the social justice warrior game of the year. Essentially, something that's like promoting a good cause. Best ongoing game: Apex Legends, Destiny 2, Final Fantasy 14, Fortnite, Rainbow Six Siege. That is a stacked category.
Yeah.
You can make arguments for all of them. Final Fantasy 14 is now loved, and it's like the biggest MMO on the block.
Yeah.
They had that Shadowbringers DLC or expansion. Fortnite, enough said. Apex Legends, huge surprise. I think you got to give this to Fortnite.
Yeah, I mean.
Yeah, after this whole Chapter 2 business.
Right. Yeah. The chapter.
Even got me to go jump in and try it for a little.
Yeah, it's got me play. It's one of my more favorite. It's kind of like one of my comfort games at this point, even though I'm not that good. Best independent game: Baba Is You, Disco Elysium, Katana Zero, Outer Wilds, an Untitled Goose Game.
I think it's kind of funny that Untitled Goose Game's on there.
It's going to be Untitled Goose Game.
No, it's not.
I think it'll be Outer Wilds. It's a game that I've started, actually, and I hear so many amazing things about. I had so many issues with the flight controls, but I want to go back to it and give it another try.
Okay.
Any other Disco Elysium has a shot, but I think Outer Wilds takes this. Based on
Katana Zeros was really good.
It was really good, but
You never actually finished it.
oh yeah. It was. Best mobile game, skipping that.
Anthony's not here. He's the mobile guy.
Ooh, best VR game.
Best V. Oh yeah, sure. Best VR: Asgard's Wrath, not Asgard. Blood and Truth, Beat Saber, No Man's Sky, and Trover Saves the Universe. Beat Saber, right?
I would say Beat Saber.
Yeah. Although I heard so many good things about Blood and Truth, and that kind of just came and went.
I mean, I feel like Blood and Truth was hyped up more than I've heard anything afterwards.
Well, yeah, I just don't know if I heard about the same like clamoring that I heard about Astrobot and about Moss
Right.
the year prior. And now we get into where things start getting a little repetitive. Best action game, like what does that even mean? Apex Legends, Astral Chain, Call of Duty Modern Warfare. I think this is a good place to stop, just because it's a toss-up at this point with all these categories and all overlapping things, which is the way it always is for video games. Anything else you want to see?
Yeah, those are all esports.
Yeah. All right. So the Game Awards, they're when is it? In December. You'll be able to watch them. I'm sure we'll be doing our talking about them. And something happened this past week. It was November 15th and November 18th, which means that GameCube and Xbox had a birthday, and it's been 18 years. They're now old enough to smoke in most states. And I thought it'd be fun to close out the show this week if we talked a little bit about our original GameCube and our original Xbox and GameCube stories, and if we had any.
So at least for me, my mother didn't pick up the original, launch for either one for me. But my best friend, who I'm still friends with till this day, he actually got the GameCube launch. So I kind of I couldn't go over his house even though he was in next door. My mother wouldn't let me. It was weird. My mother was overprotective. I would be like, Fernando, then what you playing? He was like, I got you, bro. He would turn his TV so I could watch from my bedroom window, watch him play whatever game he was playing. I'm like, that's so cool, man. I think I see an item. You got to pick that up. Like whatever game he was playing, I'd be trying to help him out from my window while he's playing in his room. And I'm like, we had the windows right there, and I'm like,
Nice.
Yeah, man, go that way.
That's funny.
I actually saved up my allowance for a long time, and I pre-ordered my GameCube from Sam Goody, which is a store where they usually sell CDs and other music stuff, which I think they're all gone now. I pre-ordered it with 2 games, and I was very, very into games at this point. Not quite like I am now, but like there was a long period of time where I had taken a break. But like Game Boy Advance and GameCube launch, I was very into it as the 11-year-old that I was. And I pre-ordered it with Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3 and Super Monkey Ball, which you would think Luigi's Mansion or something like that, but no, I saved that for Christmas. I remember I had $200 saved up. My dad found out that it cost $300 for the system and the games, and he was like really annoyed that I had to borrow the rest. But he lent it to me, and so I came home, played the crap out of those. Me and my sister had lots of fun with Super Monkey Ball. Tony Hawk 3 absolutely loved. And then that Christmas, I got 4 GameCube games. I got Smash, Rogue Squadron, Rogue Leader 2, Pikmin, and Luigi's Mansion.
Nice.
And I was set. That was a hell of a first couple months for the GameCube. And original Xbox, I didn't have one for a couple years, but I had a neighbor up the street, like one of those neighbors that I would like, or one of those neighborhood kids. Like I would literally just go knock on his door, uninvited, just be like, hey, what's up? We want to hang out. Mm-hmm. And so this kid, his uncle was Heavy D, who was like a famous producer and rapper from the early 90s. So he was pretty wealthy. His uncle, Heavy D, got him an Xbox with every game. All 17 launch games.
Wow.
Yeah, so I got a good amount of time in with that. Didn't fall in love with Halo until my friend Jerry's house about a year or 2 later. But yeah, I remember playing like Amped and Project Gotham Racing and
Fusion Frenzy.
Yeah, that was a good little Mario Party wannabe.
Yeah. I never owned an Xbox. My first Xbox console was the 360. But I also had to it was like it was one of my dad's friends who had it. And I would go over there, and my dad's friend was like playing Halo and stuff like that. And I think that's when I started to get like into. I think that like around that time I really started to get into like gaming, because the same friend of my dad's, he also was like really into RuneScape, and that kind of got me into RuneScape. Just like watching him play like over his shoulder or whatever when we went over to like hang out over there. That got me into like the Halo games, and like he had Fusion Frenzy, so I would like play with his kids and stuff like that. And then GameCube, yeah, just Luigi's Mansion, Pikmin, all good titles.
Pikmin was a good one.
You know what I just remembered? It'd be a travesty if I forgot this. I did have the original Xbox, but years after, like a couple years after it came out, my uncle, who was in the military at the time, sent me his.
Oh wow!
With Halo 2. And I'm pretty sure they had the map. You had to get the maps, a couple maps. So they were installed already, but I didn't know how to get online. So I've never played online. But I had Halo. And then I was like, okay, I got this. So like I was playing it, and I was like by myself. I'm like, So I saved up some money and picked up Ninja Gaiden Black.
Oh.
Loved that game. Beat it. Then I tried playing it on hard. Couldn't beat it on the next difficulty level.
So I played the original, or not the original, but I played the Ninja Gaiden, the one that came to Xbox, I want to say like 03, and then Black was the sequel. I got stuck on like level 13 as a kid on Ninja Gaiden.
It says launch memories.
Oh. My bad.
All right, yeah. I was
That's
like,
launch
about to talk
memory.
about Xbox Live launch. I had like a 75-foot Ethernet cable taped around my...
Oh yeah, I had one of those at my dad's house.
Yeah, and it was mind-blowing at the time as a strictly console gamer to be playing Halo 2 with random people, getting that disc that had those 9 extra maps on it. I remember they had that one that was on a beach. That was a real classic one.
Yeah, I didn't know what was online gaming until the 360.
Well, it is what it is. All right, guys, that has been the Level With You show. Thank you so much for watching. Leave us a like, a subscribe, and maybe a comment, and you can be featured on next week's show. All right, until next time, stay level.